Welcome back to the another session of our English class. How are you all? Hope you all are fine. Students, what have we learned in the previous class? Do you remember? Shall we go through the summary of the story that we have learned in the previous class? Okay, let's go. There were a young prince in that land. One day he invited all the young girls of that land to a ball. Ball is a large formal party which includes dancing. Why the young prince invited the young girls to the ball? Yes, because he planned to choose his princess among them. By hearing this invitation, Cinderella's stepsisters became so happy, so that they selected the best gowns and they dressed their hairs. But what about Cinderella? Yes, they didn't take Cinderella with them to the party. And what did they tell Cinderella? Yes, you can go when beggars conduct a ball. After that, Cinderella's stepsisters asked her to comb their hair, brush their shoes, and to make tie the buckles in their dress. So, what would be the feelings of Cinderella at that time? Yes, Cinderella would feel deeply disappointed and she would cry because she too liked to go to the party. Students, this is a summary of the part that we have studied in the previous class. Now, shall we go through the rest of that? Now, all of you take page number 43 and we will go through the rest of the story that we have learned in the previous class. Now, all of you look at this paragraph and I'll read it and you all listen carefully. She begged her stepmother to take her along. What? You Cinderella, in all your dust and dirt, you want to go to the ball. You have no dress and no shoes. You want to dance. She turned her back to Cinderella and hurriedly set out with her two proud daughters. When Cinderella lost sight of them, she felt very sad. She started crying. Tears rolled down her cheeks. She thought of her own mother. If my mother had been alive, she would have sent me to the ball. Here, Cinderella's stepsisters were getting ready to go to the ball party. Cinderella asked her stepmother to take her along with them. But what was the reaction of her stepmother? Students, all of you look at this sentence. What, you Cinderella, in all your dust and dirt, you want to go to the ball? You have no dress and no shoes. You want to dance? This was the reaction of her stepmother. Thereby, she made fun of her by telling this to her. After that, her stepmother quickly went out with her two daughters. When Cinderella looked at them, she felt very sad. She started crying when she looked at them. At that time, what came to the mind of Cinderella? Yes, Cinderella's mind were filled with her mother's thoughts. Then she thought that if her mother had been alive, she would have sent her to the ball. Why does Cinderella think so? Yes, the stepmother was cruel and selfish. She treated her daughters well and encouraged them to go to the ball. As Cinderella was not her own daughter, she was ill treated. Students, hope you understood this paragraph. Am I right? Now, shall we go through some new words and their meanings? What is the meaning of beg? Beg means to request or ask. Then, what's the meaning of hurriedly? Hurriedly means quickly. Set out means begin a journey. Sight means vision. Students, now I'll read the next paragraph and all of you listen carefully. Suddenly she heard a voice. You will certainly go to the ball. I'm your fairy godmother. Cinderella turned around. She saw a fairy standing in front of her. I'm the queen of fairies, she said. I'll send you to the ball. Well, said her godmother, be a good girl and I'll contrive that you shall go. She went with Cinderella into her chamber and told her, "Run into the garden and bring me a pumpkin." Students, what did you understand from this paragraph? Yes, suddenly Cinderella heard a voice. What was that voice? Yes, it was the voice of a fairy godmother. Who is a fairy godmother? In some stories, you have read about fairy godmother, haven't you? A fairy godmother is one who comes to the aid of someone in difficulty. What did the fairy godmother say, Cinderella? Yes, you will certainly go to the ball. I am your fairy godmother. When Cinderella heard this voice, she turned around and then she saw a fairy standing in front of her. Then the fairy said that she is a queen of fairies and also added that she'll send her to the ball. The godmother said Cinderella to be a good girl and added that she will manage to do something to make Cinderella go to the party. Then the fairy godmother went with Cinderella into the room and told Cinderella to bring her the pumpkin from the garden. Students, this is the picture of pumpkin. Students, shall we go through the new words and their meanings? Okay, let's go. The meaning of certainly is surely. Then the word contrive means manage to do something in spite. What do you mean by chamber? Chamber means room. Students, hope you all understood this paragraph. Students, now all of you look at this paragraph. I'll read it and all of you listen carefully. Okay? Cinderella went immediately to gather the finest pumpkin she could get and brought it to her godmother. She could not imagine how this pumpkin could help her go to the ball. The fairy waved a magic wand over the pumpkin. So, what did you understand from this paragraph? Yes, Cinderella went to the garden to collect the best pumpkin from the garden and brought it to the godmother. The Cinderella could not imagine how a pumpkin could help her to go to the ball. The fairy waved a magic wand over the pumpkin. So, did you see the word magic wand? What is magic wand? Look at this. This is the picture of a magic wand. It is a thin stick or rod held in the hand by a magician or a fairy when performing magic tricks. Now, shall we go through some new words and their meanings? Immediately means quickly. Then, what's the meaning of gather? Gather means collect. Finest means best. Then, what is magic wand? Magic wand is a thin stick or rod held by a fairy. You can see the picture of magic wand. Students, hope you all understood this paragraph. Am I right? Students, now you have an activity. All of you take page number 50. Did you see that activity? You can see a question in this activity. All of you read it. Read the following passage. Cinderella begged her stepmother to allow her to attend the ball. What? You Cinderella? In all your dust and dirt, you want to go to the ball. You have no dress and no shoes. You want to dance? She turned her back to Cinderella and hurriedly set out with her two proud daughters. When Cinderella lost sight of them, she felt very sad. She started crying. Tears rolled down her cheeks. Wiping her tears, she began to think, what would be the thoughts of Cinderella? This is the question given in this activity. So, hope you understood this question. Here, you have to write the thoughts of Cinderella. All of you write this activity in your rough note. I'll give you notes in the next class. At that time, I will give the answer for this activity. Okay? Students, hope you all understood today's class. Am I right? I will give you the notes in the next class. So we will meet in the next class. Take care and thank you, dear students.